Kia ora koutou, everyone. Thank you for being here online and in person. Today we have Liisa Tervinen talking about a book she's been working on. So Liisa is our senior engagement something in the School of Design.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll hand over to Liisa and then I'll come back at the end and I'll help facilitate any questions there are. So Liisa, you should be able to share your screen and everything.
Thank you. I will set it up so I can share. Let's see. Hi everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about designing and communicating biomaterials, which is a topic very close to my heart. It's about combining university education and research and sustainability, collaboration, and looking in the future. So I'm Liisa Tervinen. I'm a design manager and I originally studied audiovisual media culture at the University of Lapland at the Arctic Circle for my bachelor's. And then I studied new media design for my master's at Aalto University in Helsinki, Finland. Now I'm a senior engagement advisor in design here at the School of Design Innovation. Coming from Finland, I thought it's good to do a little comparison. So Finland is a little bit more north than New Zealand is to the south. Land area and population are a little bit bigger in Finland. You can see we're 5.5 million in Finland and 5 million roughly in New Zealand. And forests seem to be double in Finland compared to New Zealand. So forests cover 76% of the land area in Finland. And actually measured by the proportional share of forest land, Finland is the most forested country in the whole Europe. So coming from Finland, I love forests. All Finns love forests. And they are such an important and everyday part of our lives there. And because Finland is just forest and more than 100,000 lakes, the wood cellulose has traditionally had a remarkable role in the Finnish industry. Although the products have been mainly high volume but low added value products with no design involved, such as paper products. But things are changing. Now, on the other hand, a design-driven approach enables generation of low volume but high value industry. So there's an interest in creating new cellulose biomaterials. Back in 2016, I was working as a design research assistant at Aalto University and got into the biomaterial world and communicating research. It was really interesting to work with some of the world-leading scientists in the field of wood chemistry and design. So I worked in a project called Aalto CHEMARTS, which is a collaboration between School of Chemical Engineering, also known as CHEM, and School of Arts, Design and Architecture, that would be arts. There we get the name CHEMARTS. And CHEMARTS started in 2011. And the aim of CHEMARTS is to create new concepts for bioeconomy for combining design, business thinking, and natural materials science. It's super interesting. So their main focus is on material called cellulose, which is the most abundant organic biopolymer on Earth. So in other words, plants contain cellulose. and we have a lot of plants in this planet. And in CHEMARTS, we focus on wood-based cellulose. Coming from Finland, forest, wood, and then wood-based cellulose makes sense. How CHEMARTS works is that they collaborate with international projects, research, and offer multidisciplinary courses for university students in Aalto. And most prominent is the CHEMARTS Summer School, where students focus the whole summer on developing their own bio-based material explorations and projects. So every year there are 10, 20 more new bio-based material explorations created by the students that are well documented and communicated as exhibitions, professionally taken photographs, and brochures. The projects are also on the CHEMARTS website. So the past 9 years, there have been a lot of good projects. And as the biomaterial field has been growing and interest in design world has increased in replacing plastics and finding more sustainable materials, CHEMARTS staff wanted to share some of their knowledge to the community in the form of a book. So we formed a theme in spring 2019 and started working. So everybody else in this picture, they are in Finland and working at the time at Aalto University, and I was invited to join their team remotely. So here's the core book team with Professors Tapani and Pirjo, who run the CHEMARTS. Also designer Nina, who is nowadays a hands-on biomaterial expert. She studied originally graphic design. And then there's textile designer / photographer Eva, who has taken all the amazing CHEMARTS photos since the beginning of the program. Then we had also skilled graphic designer and all the arts books publishing company, and few content writers and experts to provide more content. So my role was in co-editing, project management, and helping to shape the book into a great user experience, but also to help in the communication and marketing related to the book launch. So I won't go, or even can't go too much details in the chemistry in this talk. That's not my expertise. But if you have questions related to that and certain projects, I can see if I can reach to some of the experts afterwards. And here's the book. So it came out late April this year, and it took about a year or so to put it all together, a little bit more than a year. And it offers both simple and more advanced ideas and recipes for these experiments with wood-based materials. It showcases interesting results, focusing on the raw materials that are processed either chemically or mechanically from trees, but also other plants. And there are different level projects, so you can do stuff at home, workshops, or chemistry labs, depending on your level and access to raw materials and tools. Let's see a little intro video.
Our material world is changing, and in the coming years, this change will be dramatic. In parallel with climate change, our lifestyles will also change. This means we need new ideas. In response, we made a cookbook of experiments featuring wood and plant-based materials, especially cellulose. Here in Finland, we are specialists in this field. 70% of our country is covered by forests, with which we strive to take good care. The CHEMARTS Cookbook gives you both simple and more advanced ideas and recipes for hands-on experiments. We aim to inspire you to explore the potential of materials. We encourage playful, hands-on experiments and explorations with our recipes. Get inspired, test the recipes in your workshops or labs, develop your own experiments and new materials.
So this is a video I made in lockdown here in Wellington, as we couldn't have the book launch in Finland. You maybe recognize the voiceover, it's Nan from our school here. So we made a decision to launch the book as a free online version, and there's also a beautiful, beautiful printed book that one can order. But due to COVID and mail not coming from Europe to New Zealand still, we're in August now, I haven't seen that live myself yet. So the book is aimed for designers and material enthusiasts, university students, and can be used as a study book. So we wanted to give enough basic information about materials and working in lab environment, but also to explain some of the basic working methods and a little bit about the chemistry. So we have a section called Working with Materials in the book. The book introduces different kind of wood-based raw materials. As you can see from this picture, there are several kind of cellulose materials. I would call it quite a miracle material, as you can create, for example, soft, hard, flexible, strong, light or transparent materials out of it. Then we also have a little bit about multidisciplinary collaboration in the book. And this is something CHEMARTS has been focusing on since its beginning. So we always say to students, be brave to ask opinions, do your background research, listen to others, keep an open mind. If you don't understand something, ask. And communication is definitely the key in collaboration. And important as developing new materials and design is to agree on intellectual property rights right in the beginning of the project. Then we get into the core of the book, the recipes, and we have divided them in the book by the material properties. Here's an example of recipe that uses pine bark and microfibrillary cellulose and creates new all-wood material. The material resembles nature in smell, feel, and appearance. It's really nice. And the end result is light and durable and can be made into either sheets or 3D objects. Here's another hard material. It's Redwood project by Linda Vanni. And her aim was to explore how original tactile qualities of wood could be retrieved by creating materials from sawdust and carboxymethyl cellulose. She used molds to produce modular wall tiles for decoration and acoustics. This is common reed panel by Päivi Lehtinen. Common reed grows on waterfronts and has traditionally been used in, for example, roofs and carpets. And this recipe shows a way to simply glue together common reed panels using pulp. And the panels become quite strong but are not water resistant, which is the common thing with cellulose materials. Here is CELLULOSE by Surabhi Surendra, and by blending wool and wood-based cellulose was discovered new textures and shapes with intriguing haptic properties. The ingredients include also natural pigments such as turmeric and pine cone. And by the way, all these beautiful images in this presentation and in the book, they are by Eva, who I mentioned before in the team. Then we have soft materials. These are pulp foams. Foaming is a way of adding air to materials and increasing their bulkiness and softness. This is a recipe one can do at home easily with the blender, dishwashing liquid, and egg carton. Foam pulp can potentially be used to make products that are affordable, recyclable, or disposable. And you can also create films and transparent materials. These are biodegradable and biocompatible films. Could be replacing plastics in some applications, for example. And these samples are colored using indigo pigment and dyes from flower petals and rowan. And they're really light. Making DIY slimes has become extremely popular in recent years, especially among school children. This bioslime is stretchable, elastic, and slightly sticky. It contains no toxic or harmful chemicals. When playing is done, it can be composted or recycled in a bio bin. Then we have recipes for growing materials. This has been extremely popular direction the past years within CHEMARTS students. So kombucha, besides being a drink, it can be used for material explorations too. Here are some kombucha lamps by Monica Feidi, Summer School 2016. And growing the kombucha part took her about 8 weeks. And recycling of kombucha is not a problem because bacterial cellulose is biodegradable material. Then we have printable materials. Here we have patterns that were made with extruding cellulose. Can be used in various applications, for example, for creating accessories or in art installations. This one is by Ines. This recipe focuses on shrinkage as a result of drying cellulose materials and creating these three-dimensional shapes. Many of the outcomes are surprising in their strength and beauty. This one is by Megan McLean and last year's summer school. So that was some of the projects that can be found in the book. There are also some interviews I made with industry professionals who are telling how it is to work with materials and how to build a career in this field. I hope you enjoyed this little talk, and you can check out the CHEMARTS website for more information and to download the book if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liisa.
Thank you.
Does anyone? Yes, we have a question from Regan.
Okay.
Liisa, does the book give you? Is it sort of like a cookbook that you can actually follow a recipe to make things like bio slime?
Yes, definitely. So it has always like ingredients, list of ingredients, list of tools, and then step-by-step instructions how to actually make the things. Yeah.
Other questions?
I can also share a link. Let me share a link to the chat, so then people who are joining online can see. So there is the download link, but also link to the CHEMARTS website where there's more information about the book. And I can show just really briefly I have the downloaded the PDF version, so I can share how it looks like. So here we can see a little bit of the book, how it looks inside. So we have introduction, we have working with materials, recipes, and then inspiration part. And a lot of images, but also a lot of basic information about the biomaterials and research, species and tools, materials, and then going on to the methods and actual recipe. So there's like about 200 pages of information. Any other questions?
I have one actually. Have you seen kind of the results of any of this? Like, have people applied these recipes to any like products or designs?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like when we launched this and we had a little campaign in social media, so we asked people to post using hashtag CHEMARTS, and it was nice to see that because there's a quite active biomaterials design community around the world, so people were posting in their Instagram stories different experiments, and everybody was in lockdown, so they were kind of using whatever they had at home and kind of cooking in their kitchens, or I don't know, and making different kind of explorations. So that's something that I have seen. I haven't seen anything further yet, but it was quite interesting to see that it was already received in a positive way, and we got a lot of feedback also that people were happy that this information is available for free, that you can just download the book and get the recipes.
So Zach is asking if the cellulose materials are easy to get.
That's a little bit of a problem. Like in different parts of the world, I would recommend using whatever is available in your part of the world, and it also doesn't make sense to maybe use wood-based cellulose in countries where you don't have a lot of wood, but maybe you have banana trees or bananas or rice or something, so you can see what is the basic raw materials in your areas, research centers that could be available more easily. But so the wood-based materials, it's definitely easy to get in Finland, but I'm not sure if we could get them so easily here. But then we could replace those with other more local ingredients. Something else?
Maybe I'll ask how long it took for the project to come together.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear.
Lisa, how long did it take for the whole project to come together?
Well, the book took a little bit more than a year, but then of course the content has been created throughout 9 years in CHEMARTS studies. So nine plus 1 year.
Any others? Okay. Well, everybody, please join me in thanking Liisa again. That was great. Yeah, really interesting stuff. Just a reminder that we still want people from the School of Design to sign up for these Atrium Talks. So if that's you and you felt inspired today, please get in touch with myself, Regan, or Becky. And I'll just say next week we have the virtual Atrium Talk by Jason Carpenter, who is a technical consultant from Building Point, Australia, and they oversee the Trimble building suite of tools, which combines 3D modeling, digital set-out, laser scanning, cloud-based collaboration, and mixed reality solutions into the one refined design and construction workflow. So we'll be learning about Trimble. Sounds pretty interesting, pretty innovative. Oh, one more question from Zach. Which is your favorite recipe?
Oh, man, I don't know. Well, I have to say that I tried during lockdown the pulp foam, so I could actually do it at home. So that was really like easy and hands-on if you want to start something even with the kids and do some material science and design at home. So that's a good one. Yeah.
Cool. We'll have to take a closer look at the book.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Everyone.